Yeah, what up? We struggle streaming. How's everybody doing? So, welcome back to another episode of Curated Topics brought to you by Curated Sense LLC. We're doing a quick stream tonight because the game starts at 8 o'clock. The game, but that is the Cavs game. Let's go, Cavs. We beat the Detroit Pistons in Game 7 at their spot. That means it's now our spot. Hey, I'm gonna talk about this in a second, but watching that game, whoo, it was like the most gratifying nail biter of all time, at least to me. Anyway, welcome back. So, Cavs made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I want to say shout out to Donovan Mitchell finally getting past that second round. But before I get deep into the game, we gonna go with Candle of the Evening. So real quick, Candle of the Evening, you all have seen this in a previous episode, but it's sitting right here on my desk, so I decided to pick it up. We got, boom, that right there. Can y'all see that? And anybody who is on here, tell me what my mic sounds like. Tell me does it sound nice? What's up? What's up, Carly? How's everybody doing? I'm checking the chat. I'm in the chat. You know, I'm not struggle streaming that bad. But I want to get right into it. We are talking about the NBA today. Thank you. She said it sounds good. Good. So, Cavs made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Shout out to Donovan Mitchell. Shout out to the Cavs. Finally breaking through that barrier, that ceiling that we had reached where we were only making it to the second round. We have now shown everybody that we are a team that can compete. We're not a team that just does well in the regular season. We are a contender. If you make it to this spot, you are a contender. And so now we have one more team to beat before we are a true championship contender. But I want to talk about that game against Detroit right quick. That game was beautiful pretty much from start to finish. I don't remember the Cavs ever really giving up the lead in that game, which made me very happy. As a couch coach, that's what I'm going to call it, pause. As a couch coach, you know, I coach from the couch. I coach from my seat, screaming at the TV. I wasn't happy. I had people coming up to me, hey, you all right? I'm like, why are you not cheering like the rest of us? Because I need a 30-point lead for me to truly believe that we're about to win this game. Like the whole time I'm sitting there, you know, Cavs go up maybe 10, 15 points. And I'm thinking like, all right, please don't blow it. Please don't blow it. I do not want y'all to, you know, go up 15 and next thing you know, we let Detroit do some historic comeback. You know, we up 20 at halftime or almost 20. I think it was like 18. But we're up at halftime and then, you know, here comes Detroit. They hit some unstoppable run, and then we're going home. Luckily, that is not what happened. And to be honest, I can't say luckily because of the way that this game won. We ended up winning this game 125-94. That is a 31-point victory. And I have to give it to the Cavs. We played like we wanted to win. We got good numbers from most of our starters. Now, I will say this, you know, James Harden did not play the best, right? And if we want to talk about it, you know, he is known for not showing up in critical moments, and the most critical is Game 7. And to be quite honest with you, he did not really show up in this game either. He went 2 for 10, only had 9 points. But what I will say that was a little bit different, just a little bit, he had less turnovers. He only had 1 turnover. Whereas this entire series, he'd been turning the ball over like crazy. And he did other things that might not show up in the stat sheet. You know, they didn't give him any steals or blocks, but he definitely was not a ghost on defense. He wasn't a complete, waste. It was not looking like the typical Game 7 James Harden. So I will say that much. I do have to give him credit for that. And here was the other part. When you got Sam Merrill dropping 23 points, you don't need to do that much. Like, the pressure is off. So the pressure for him to, perform at that super high level, at that James Harden level, we didn't need that. And to be quite honest with you, I think that is going to be our key in moving forward. I don't think we need to put all that pressure on James Harden to be some incredible scorer, let him play his game and we play ours, and we get others involved. I think that is what's going to be the key to victory as we move forward. All right, I'm going to go through everybody else because everybody played well. Everybody on our team had a plus something in the plus minus. So shout out to James Harden. He actually led the plus minus other than Evan Mobley. Him and Evan Mobley, they led plus minus with plus 31. So that means when they were on the court, we were winning. Even though you don't see it show up in the stats for James. But he still had 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Pretty decent showing. I mean, not by his standards, but he gave us what we needed. Shout out to Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley played well. And this is what I saw from him. So he went 7 for 10 from the field. But also I saw him not trying to take as many threes. When he caught the ball, he made sure he was down low in the post. Pause. And a lot of his baskets, they were close at the rim. That's what I want to see from him. He's a big man. Pause. He's, a lot of the times we try to use him like he's Giannis because he can dribble the ball a little bit. He ain't Giannis. The driving ability, the speed, the power, the agility, those are the types of things that I don't think are there for him in terms of comparing him to Giannis. He has potential, but I'd like to see him more in the Kevin Garnett role. And I've said that before. He can bring the ball down in a pinch when we need him to, when guys are trying to trap Donovan or trap James Harden. That's a cool little role for him. He's a good trailer. If you know basketball, you know what the trailer is. But what I want to see from him, just play down low, maybe not take so many threes, develop a set jump shot that's right there in the mid-range and is something that you can knock down every time. Every time. That's all we need from you. So you do things like that. That's how you get that production. So 21 points off of 7 for 10 shooting. All his misses were from 3. As I'm looking at the stats right now, he went 1 for 4 from 3. So that means all the 2-pointers you made. That's how you play basketball. Make all your 2-pointers. There you go. And that's how you can rack up points fairly easily. But here was the more impressive thing for me. 12 rebounds, 6 assists. You are getting things going inside the game outside of yourself. And that's what we need you to do. That's what we need all our guys to do. What the stats are showing me the most, the ball was moving. When you got a big guy with 6 assists, the ball is moving, and that's what we need right there. Nobody was trying to play hero ball. This was a team effort. He also had 2 steals, 2 blocks. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, reigning defensive player of the year, Evan Mobley, to get things going. Shout out to him. So next, we had Jared Allen. Jared Allen played very well in this game. Very well in this game. And he's gotten a lot of criticism since being on the Cavs. He's gotten a ton of criticism since being on the Cavs. And I am glad that he has not fed into it. And you can see the difference in his game when he is getting the ball. You can see the difference in his game when he is energized. Now, he only played 25 minutes in this game, but he had 23 points, 7 rebounds, huge block. That's the kind of production that we are looking for from him. 23 points in 25 minutes is great. Great. That means he didn't even need to be on the floor that much. Now, shout out to Sam Merrill. I nicknamed Sam Merrill Scrappy Doo. Because that's who he reminds me of as a player. He reminds me of Scrappy Doo. Scrappy Doo, he ain't scared of you. He'll talk mess to you. He's going to swipe at the ball. He's going to he's going to put forth the effort, even though he's not the biggest guy on the court. And what we saw to Sam Merrill played with intensity. He played with high energy, but he wasn't scared. He stood in there. He took a charge, man, from one of the Thompson twins. I don't know which one it was. Asor, I think it is. Osser. I don't know how to pronounce their name. Sorry. But he took a charge from the Thompson twin where the Thompson twin tried to just run him over. He literally just lowered his shoulder and tried to run him over like basketball switched to football for 2 seconds. And Sam Merrill stood in there, took the charge, and it looked like it hurt. It looked like it hurt. It looked like I wouldn't want to stand there and take that pause. But that's the type of energy that we need on this team. And he was balling. He went 5 for 8 from the 3-point line. And what I also like about his game, Sam is developing a little bit of an offensive game. He is not just the stand there and catch the ball and then shoot type of guy anymore. He has now developed a couple of dribbling moves, and he will drive to the hole. Now, he might not always finish it. It might just be a little decoy play, but I like that coming from him because now we're starting to see some development, and that's what I like seeing from guys. So shout out to Sam because he's doing this thing out there. 23 points coming off the bench, and he only had 25 minutes. This is the type of production that we need to, get the ball rolling. This is the type of production that we need to help push us forward in this next round against the Knicks. Now, we play tonight. We play in about 20 minutes, so I'm not going to take up too much of y'all's time. But, guys like Sam Merrill, Evan Mobley, Max Strus, hell, even Dean Wade, they're going to be the X factors in this upcoming series. Now, we know what our expectations of Donovan are, and I'm going to talk about Donovan in a second. But, we know the type of expectations that we put on him. We know the type of expectations that we put on James Harden. But we are going to need our full complement of guys if we are going to expect to get a win, not only tonight, especially tonight, but in this entire series. If we expect to take this series, it needs to be a team effort. It just does. So I want to talk about Donovan Mitchell right quick. That's whose jersey I got on. You can't see the numbers. I'm not going to stand up or nothing. But that's whose jersey I got on right now to celebrate us going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm very excited about that. I'm very happy. I'm very excited about that. One, because this is the first time that we have done this since LeBron. Since LeBron and Kyrie, this is our first time being considered true contenders for a championship. And the job's not done yet. The job is not done yet. But what we saw from Donovan Mitchell in this game was real effort and real leadership. He went out there with something to prove. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but back when Donovan Mitchell played for the Utah Jazz, they had the number one record in the league. I think this might have been when they were in the bubble. It was either when they were in the bubble or like right afterwards. But they went into the playoffs, and Donovan had just come off a game where he dropped like 40 or 50 points. They just got a win. And he was doing his interview with Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley, all those guys when they were on TNT. And Shaq came at Donovan Mitchell kind of crazy. Shaq was like, yeah, you had good numbers. You played a good game. But I don't think that you can lead a team. I don't see you as some big leader. You just all right. Like you're not him. And you can see on Donovan Mitchell's face, like, what? Like, dude, I just dropped 50 points. Like, what do you want from me? For a long time, I think you could see that sit with Donovan. I think that you could see it kind of play in his mind as he played in some of these playoff games. And I would say that especially for last year. People were like, well, is Shaq correct? Like, what's going on? And I think with this, this series with Detroit, when you saw us having to go to a game 7, those questions started to creep back up. You definitely saw them in the media. I saw them on Instagram, all of that. And it's like, well, is Shaq right? And this statement was made maybe like 5-6 years ago. But you could see how things like that would stick around. You could see how things like that would, bother someone. And so I want to applaud Donovan because you have now reached the point where that is not, that he can't say that anymore. You know what I'm saying? You reached a point now where you've kind of proven him wrong. And if you push forward, if you continue with your excellent play, the way he played in that game 7 was excellent. The numbers might not say it all. But he played with effort, he played with heart, and he played with determination. You could see in his face from the very start, okay, I'm coming out here to get this done. That was the one thing I noticed from watching from the very beginning. You could tell that he wanted to get this done. And so I actually found the video. I think I'm struggle streaming. Let's see if it'll work for me. Nope. Okay. Well, I'll just play it. You can hear it in the background.
About Donovan Mitchell, Shaq infamously said this to Donovan's face on live TV.
You are one of my favorite players, but you don't have what it takes to get to the next level. I said it on purpose. I want you to hear it. What do you have to say about that?
All right. That's it.
That's it?
All right. That's it.
Okay, cool.
Is Shaq?
So what you heard is like, yeah, okay, I'm not one of your favorite players anymore, or you tell me, oh, I'm good, but I'm not good enough. Like, what's up with that? But what you hear is like, all right, he's going to accept the challenge and he's going to continue to push forward and prove him wrong. And this is that moment where I think that you will see Donovan hit that turn. You'll see him hit that. He is now coming up over the hill. The challenge that was, moving forward and getting out of that second round, he has passed it now. And I think that's going to do something to his confidence to where he can be like, okay, yeah, now I can really turn up. And I'm looking forward to seeing that. At least that's what I hope is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I hope that is what's going to happen. But that is part of what you saw in this game. He said, okay, it's game 7. Okay, we at their house. We've been in this situation before in terms of being in a game 7. Let me rally the troops and let's get the job done. And so he went out there and that's what he did. He dropped 26 points, 31 minutes. Also had 8 assists, 6 rebounds, had a steal, had a block. But like I said, the best part that I saw was that energy. That was the best part that I saw. So, with today's game, we are seeing the Cavs versus the Knicks. And that is in about 15 minutes. So I'm going to keep it short and keep it sweet. I'm going to get up out of here before the game starts, I promise. But here are my predictions, right? And here's what I hope is going to happen. What I hope is going to happen is the Cavs sweep the Knicks. That's what I hope. That's what I hope for. I'm just, I am going full send with the hopes and dreams that we sweep the Knicks. I don't think that that's going to happen, but I do think that our best possibility will be to steal game 1. If we can steal game 1, that will put the pressure on the Knicks, especially with looking at the way that they played in the playoffs. Now, they've got something going where they've been able to turn things around and turn up. But I definitely think that we could get game 1. Now, I want to talk about this. Excuse me, because it could be what we saw. It could be a situation that we saw coming out of, this last game with the Western Conference Finals, where the Spurs played the Thunder. And the topic I want to talk about with that is the difference between rest and rust. The Thunder and the Knicks, they did the same thing in the second round, and that's where they swept their opponents. So they went 4-0, and they had about almost a week and a half of rest. But when, sometimes when you are, especially in the playoffs, right, you want to be rested. Like you want guys to be healthy. You want guys to, have full gas tank. But at the same time, where does rest turn into rust? And when I say rust, I mean like that's when guys fall out of rhythm. That's when they're not hitting their shots. Basketball is all about runs. And sometimes when you are playing and then you go long periods and y'all don't have you're not doing things at game speed. You're not doing things at playoff speed. Yeah, you can have practice and all of that, but you're not in that game situation for quite a while. So now we're wondering, okay, well, how are guys going to perform? What we saw in the Thunder game yesterday, and that was a great game, by the way. That was an excellent game. Well, they were kind of rusty, though. Especially Shea. Shea was rusty. There were some shots where, now you could definitely tell that it was affected by the presence of Wemby. But at the same time, these are shots that guys would normally knock down. Shea missing a little floater, and he was missing them short. That's where you can tell, okay, you had a little bit too long of a break. And so that's what I'm wondering coming into this series against the Knicks. Are they going to be a little bit rusty? And if they are, we need to take advantage of that. We're not rusty. Now, I know guys are going to be tired. I know we're going to need to utilize our bench maybe a little bit more in this game 1, but this could be the perfect opportunity to catch these guys off guard, because I promise you, I don't think that they're in rhythm like that. I just don't think that they are. I am wondering how we're going to guard Jalen Brunson, and that's really what's going to be the important thing. How are we going to guard Jalen Brunson? I think that I think that it should either be Donovan, even though Donovan is not the greatest defender. I just think that the way that Jalen Brunson plays, he uses a lot of strength and shiftiness, and we can match that strength with Donovan. I don't want to use somebody like Dean Wade or something like that because then he can just foul bait, and I don't want to see that. I don't want us putting him on the free throw line that much. But I would like to see Donovan take on the challenge of trying to guard him at least for a game. You know. But I want us to play very smart, but also, try to catch these guys off guard. Come into the game swinging. Don't take a whole bunch of threes, because that's not what we need. Take smart threes, take open threes, but swing the ball. Play the game just like you did in Game 7 of the last series. I saw a lot of the ball movement, finding an open man, getting the ball down to Jared Allen. Let's foul bait them. Let's get them into foul trouble. Get Karl Anthony Towns into foul trouble. And I think the real X factor is who's going to guard Evan Mobley when we have both bigs on the floor. Who's going to guard Evan Mobley? We know that they got OG Anunoby, but he's coming off of an injury. I think we should, I'm never saying, hey, just injure a guy, but we should kind of exploit that because he's not going, I don't know if he's 100% or what. We need to attack these guys, and we need to attack them where they're weak. Jalen Brunson is a ghost on defense. We need to put him in all the actions and get the ball moving and get downhill. Jalen Brunson can't block nobody, so we don't need to take threes on him. Take him to the hole. And so that's, I think, the keys to getting this game won. That's the key, I think, to winning the series. And I think we can pull it out. I have high hopes for us. Because, look, if we see the Cavs in the finals again, especially, LeBron, do you know? People talk about, New York is always lit because when they win and this and that. Yeah, but they always celebrate too early. We don't celebrate too early. So let us get to the finals because then it's a celebration. We are going to turn up. And I'm going to talk about this on another date, but depending on who comes out of the West, we got a shot to win, y'all. We have a shot to win. Now, argue with me if you want to. Put it down in the comments. But like I said, we got a shot to win. All right, real quick, for about 2-3 minutes, I'm going to just talk about that Thunder versus Spurs game last night. I was actually going to do this live last night after the Spurs Thunder game, and I couldn't do it because I was just tired because this game went into double overtime, and it was such a good game. And to be honest, I didn't even think anybody was going to be on live at midnight when it ended. So I just decided, you know what, I'll wait till today and hop on. But this game was amazing. Like, if this is what we have to look forward to out of these last couple games, I am here for it because that game was great. It was really like watching a finals game, to be honest with you. It was really like watching a finals game. And the Spurs came out to play. Shout out to Victor Wembanyama. He was amazing. He had 41 points, 24 rebounds. That's wild. Dylan Harper, who I think he is going to be the X factor in that series. He had 24 points and 11 rebounds, 6 assists, but he had 7 steals. They had the Thunder's number last night. There were a couple of plays where, the Thunder, they were running their typical offense, but you could tell that the Spurs have been watching game film because Dylan Harper was right there. He was like, you don't see me right here? Took the ball. Shot the passing lane and took the ball. He is going to be the X factor for that team. And here's the thing for the Spurs. The Spurs got the job done, and they didn't even have De'Aaron Fox in the game. They didn't even have De'Aaron Fox in the game. So what you saw was a master class coming from the Spurs. And this game, it really, truly did come all the way down to coaching. But it was also, you saw a lot of rust. You saw a lot of rust coming from the Thunder. And it's because they haven't played in a while. Excuse me. They got Jalen Williams back off of injury. He played all right. He had 26 points, but he went 11 for 25. Shea had 24, but he went 7 for 23. Like, what you saw them have a lot of rust. Chet Holmgren was nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. And I don't understand why they don't have Chet trying to guard Wemby. That makes no sense to me. I saw Chet. Chet was guarding somebody. I don't even know who he was guarding, but it wasn't Wemby. If I'm on the Thunder, I'm telling Chet to take on you're going to have to take on the challenge, bro. You're going to have to take on the challenge of guarding this tall dude. Like, listen, I know he's 7'8" and he make you look like a child, but you're the only one really tall enough and agile enough to do it. They didn't have Hardenstein barely in the game. He's their other center. Like, what we saw was none of the big guys were guarding Wemby. They had Alex Caruso guard Wemby, and he dropped 31, which was amazing. He was balling. He's going to be the X factor for the Thunder. But when you have the smaller guys like Lou Dort and Alex Caruso and Jay Will guarding Wemby, okay, you're trying to keep him out the paint and have your paint guys down low so that they can protect the rim. But what happens when this dude just catches the ball and turns around and shoots it? There's nothing they can do. We're talking about people who are clearly a foot shorter than him. We saw Wemby catch the ball in the post, and Jay Will was guarding him, and Jay Will jumped, and Wemby had already shot the ball. It was like, what is this? And then when Jay Will swiped, it was like you swiped at Wemby's hands, and your hand like only came up to his face. Like you didn't even like it. It looked pitiful, and in a jokey kind of way. It just was like it was like watching a grown man play against babies. But that's the thing about Wemby. So why do you not have Chet guarding Wemby? Like, that's your tallest player. Chet is like 7'1", 7'2". Wemby is like 7'7". So I don't understand that part. I would tell Chet, hey, I don't care if you foul out, but you got to guard him. I don't know, but that game was great yesterday. We saw Wemby pull up from the logo to hit a three to take it into double overtime. Just when the Thunder looked like, okay, they have taken control of this game, you know, they willed themselves back into the game and they took the lead. And here comes Wemby like he is 8-foot Steph Curry. And it was amazing. It was amazing. He just walked the ball down and shot it. Was like, you know what? I'm getting this. I'm taking this game. And Wemby is out there playing like he has a vendetta. He is out there playing like he has something to prove against these guys. And quite honestly, I'm here for it. I'm here to see it. But we only got 3 minutes left. I told y'all I'd be out before the game started, and I'm going to stick to my promises. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Let me check my chat right quick. Oh, yeah, Wemby is an anomaly. Yes, he is. Wemby is enormous. He is wild. They tried Chet and the other big guy. Yeah, but you know what? They had to pull him off of him. They did, but once again, if I'm the coach, especially like at something like halftime, I'm sitting these guys down and I'm looking at them and I'm saying, okay, which one of you guys are going to go out there and stop this dude? Like, which one of you guys are going to take it upon yourself to stop this dude? You get 6 fouls. Use 5 of them. Use 5 of them. I'd rather have him at the free throw line than pulling up from the logo or getting these easy dunks. He's catching the ball on Caruso in the post, and all he did was turn around and dunk on his face. You mean to tell me out of Chet and Hardenstein, the best you got was Caruso? Caruso is like 6'3". He is easily a foot and a half shorter than Wemby. Come on now. And the 6'3" dude is keeping people out the post. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? But anyway, like I said, I'm checking on out. I had to answer the chat right quick. All right, Chet honestly gets nervous when he guards Wemby, and the fact Wemby is more athletic and 7. Yeah, man. Yeah. So, you know, I know that they have like a history or whatever. So Chet and Wemby have a history where they go back all the way to like high school. And Chet beat Wemby in like the high school Olympics or whatever. And they won by 2 points. And Wemby was crying. And I don't know if Chet made a face or did anything. But from that moment on, man, Wemby has it out for Chet. Wemby has it out for Chet. But if this is going to be a good rivalry, Chet's going to have to step to the plate. That's all I'm saying. He's going to have to step to the plate and put forth his own effort. He's going to have to tell Coach, hey, listen, I'm not guarding nobody else but him. He's going to have to take it upon himself. And that, as a fan, that's what we want to see. That's what we want to see. I want to see the two big guys go at it. Pause. And the only way you do that is you take on the challenge. But as I said, I'm going to check out with you guys. Thank you for participating in the chat. Thank you for everybody who has tuned in. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so. And as I always say, I will catch y'all on the next one. I might hop on after the Cavs game. So you might see me. And if we win, I'm going to be wearing this jersey again. All right, but peace. Y'all have a good one.